Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be looking through various trading platforms that you might use as a prop trader or retail trader. Let's have a quick look. Without a doubt, MT5 is one of the most popular choices amongst prop firms due to the seamless integration on the back end. Makes it easy for them to integrate into their own systems. And so this is a standard choice for prop firms. When you first initially open your MT5 or even MT4, this particular one is MT5, you are presented with this rather shocking color scheme with the grid and the greens and everything else like that. But you can very quickly make it look a lot more aesthetically pleasing. So let's quickly do that now. So there we are. That looks a lot nicer, I think. We've got a nice white background with a classic red and a green. I've altered the red and green candles to be a bit more subtle. Now the chart itself looks a lot more lovely. There's obviously some new spike recently there, so don't worry about that. Here I've created a darker version of the charts as well. So you can see it's perfectly customizable to suit your needs. Simply right click properties, select colors here, and you have the bog standard disgusting colors, which I wouldn't really recommend. And then you can customize each of your colors here until you find one that you like. So once you have a color scheme that suits your needs and that you like visually, you need to save that template. Otherwise you'll go back to the shocking original colors each time you open a new chart. So that's quite easy to do. You just right click on the chart here, anywhere on the chart. And then if you scroll down, we can see we have templates. So you can save template. And then these are all my various templates that I've created over the years. Various funny names. This one grey, this one white, 1, 2, 3. What you want to do, if you want it always to be the same, is you save template and overwrite the one which is called default. Overwriting the one called default will mean that each time you open a new chart, it will use the default. Obviously, there you go. So say if you're having to open a new chart in those shocking colors there, and then right click and load template. Which I'll have a look at now. Load template. I've got one called basic white. I don't know what it looks like. Let's find out. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. There you go. So you can do that. Or you can simply save. It also, it's worth mentioning, it also saves all your indicators and stuff on there. So say you had an EMA one, like we have here, you can save that and it will load each chart like that. So obviously if we go to templates now and load template and select the one I have saved as default, which should come through to my default grey template. And that's how you set the templates for MT5 and a basic chart setup like that. MT5 itself, many users find a bit clunky. I also find it a bit clunky and a bit annoying to use sometimes, but it's like anything. Once you get used to it, it's okay. You got your time frames up here. These are customizable and you can move these around. You can tell it which ones you want to have just by right clicking here, and then you can add and remove different attributes. So you want the 12-hour add into our favorite list here. We'll just right click and insert that. And as you can see up here, it's added H12. So we have a 12-hour chart on there now. We'll get rid of that because I don't really want that. Same for removing them, just like that. So you can customize this here. Same with these, if you right click here and customize, you can add and change any of the indicators you need. And then a few other little options. One, maybe people don't really know that much about, is this little tiny arrow up here will move where your front leader of the chart price action will be. And then if you click this button here, it'll always make sure your chart is drawn up to date to wherever that level is. It tends to start really far over there, which is not usually very good for people. So I like to pull it back a bit. What else can you do on MT5? Yeah, you can do all the usual. You can draw a box and all this stuff. It is quite clunky to use, it's okay. There you go. There are better options graphically, but like I said, this is one of the main platforms used by a lot of prop firms, so it's really worth giving it a go and getting used to it. Placing trades can be tricky. You can use the trade panel here for a new order by right clicking, and then you can set them here. It's quite manual and a bit chunky to do so. What I tend to use is a position size calculator. This particular one is by Earn4x, and you literally just drag it from here and drop it on your chart, and then it'll open this lovely little setup here. And as you can see, it's a lot easier. Say you wanted to place a trade from there, your target's going to be down there, and your stop loss above there. You can literally just drag these lines around. You can also enter the prices manually up here, should you wish to enter there, and it does everything for you. You set how much you want to risk. Obviously we're not going to risk $1,000 there. Say we're going to risk $100, you just type it in, and it calculates it all for you. You can right click anywhere on the chart to bring up this cool tool, and then left click to measure things. So that's kind of cool as well. So we can measure the distance there to 4.9 pips. But as you can see here, it's also marked out here on the indicator, 4.75 pips, and that will change as you go. So really handy and useful to know. 250 pips target. You can have a play around with that and work that out yourself. This is the one I use, and it's really good. And you click trading, place trade, and then it comes up with a confirmation box, and then you click OK. That is MT5 in a nutshell. And what else can we say about it? Yeah, the graphics are a bit dated and it's a bit clunky, but it works and it does what it needs to do. And it's used by many prop firms, so once you get used to it, it's okay. What a lot of people do is they might use a platform like TradingView to chart up the trades, and then they'll copy the positions across to something like MT5 to place the trades with their current prop firm provider, or indeed on their retail broker accounts. So let's go over to TradingView and have a look at that platform. Okay, so as you can see, now we're over on the TradingView platform. So let's have a quick look at that and see how that compares. You can instantly see how much smoother and easier it is to use. See, we're scrolling around the chart here. None of this little clunkiness. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. You can use the side panel here to stretch and zoom. Let's move out of the way there. You have your time frames up here and your favorites. So there's the daily chart. There we go, perfect. So a lot easier to use. You've got your drawing tools down here. You bring up a chart and we'll draw something on, shall we? You have these here, and if you click on the little arrows, it will extend out, and then anything you put a star next to will appear on this favorites list, which I tend to float at the top here because it just covers up replay section, which I don't use very often. There you go. You can click, say for example, the rectangle and draw it out like that, and see how lovely that is. Compare that to the MT5 previously. It was literally that nice purple square, I think, hollowed out square. So you can do that. You can also hold left control when you click on these, and you can copy them. It's simply like that. So trading setup wise, it's so much easier to draw everything on TradingView. Do a trend line there. You can, if you're on a video call or highlighting key points, you can do that by selecting the draw tool here. Marking up potential trade ideas is just as easy. You have these options here, found over here on the left, which you can then start to add to your favorites over here. We'll do that again for you now. So you just click on, we want to go long from this position down here, which obviously we've missed, and it's the weekend anyway. So then you just drag your position out like that. And that's it. If you've got an account where you're logged in and you can trade directly on TradingView, then that's great. You can right click and create a limit order here, like I can, for example, and it'll open a little trade panel here. But first, you'd have to connect to one of these accounts here. When you do though, it's simply right click, create limit order, enter some information there and place your trade. So trading directly on TradingView, also not supported by many trading companies, is great when it is. But generally, like I said, you'll then, what a lot of people do when they're using MT5 for the trading firms, They'll mark up the charts here on TradingView because it's so much easier to use and nicer graphically wise. Then you can just double click on your trade idea, and then you can copy your entry price, your take profit price, and your stop loss price straight into MT5 to place your trades, which only takes a second if you've got two screens. Like I have, you can simply have MT5 open on the screen over to the side, and then your trade setup over here on this screen, and you literally just type one onto the other, place your trade. Really easy, nothing too worrying. Over here on TradingView, you can have your watch lists of pairs. As you can see, we've got loads of pairs here. You can create multiple watch lists like I have here, depending on what trade and setup I'm trading at the time. And then you can also subgroup each of those into coming soon, watching, and any other little subcategories you want. So say you add all your pairs over here in this section, you can then drag them into this section when they're preparing or getting near to a trade idea. So really handy. There you go. And that's TradingView in a nutshell. Okay, so no trading platform review would be complete without the rapidly getting popular cTrader. Now, in my opinion, cTrader is kind of a mix between the two. It's a cross between, if MT5 and TradingView had a child, this would be what they would produce. It has some of the advantages of TradingView and also some of the clunkiness of MT5. Running cTrader on directly through the web portal, it's really slow and clunky, and when you draw things on, it forgets what it's done and you have to draw them again. It's really annoying. Running cTrader on the dedicated app, it's a different story altogether, and it's actually quite pleasant to use and to draw with. I'll show you some examples here. So you're on the euro dollar, for example, and you have your accounts up here, so you can have multiple accounts. Just select which one you're trading. Drawing wise, you have your drawing tools, which you can place anywhere you like. I currently have mine over this side of the chart. And just like with MT5 and TradingView, let's draw some boxes on, just to highlight some areas. There we go, there's one. You can click again and highlight this area. So you want to highlight this area as a potential rejection zone. On the 5-minute time frame here. So, and that's it. That's as easy as that to draw. You can draw usual trend lines as well. As you can see, it does feel a little bit clunky compared to, say, TradingView. The colors are a bit awkward to change. You can modify them here in this panel here, and then you have to try and get to remember things and stuff. So it's okay. There you go. It's a nicer color. Let's replace that one. So again, you can hold Control on your keyboard on a Windows PC, copy as you left click, and that'll copy the bar there. So it makes it quite easy to highlight and repeat setups. So we're going to encompass that entire candle on this particular pair. Let's have it. There you go. And that's it really. Time frames are at the top here. So they're all basically the same kind of layout and setup. As you can see, I was placing some trades here the other week and some here. And then I also have this little tool, which is just text to tell me how many trades I placed that day. Zooming in, you set this when you first run it. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Here we've got other things as well somewhere. That's about it again, I think, really. You've got your basic tools. You can draw some bars. You can set the color scheme. I've currently got mine set here. Again, the default is a bit disgusting. Let's see if we can have a look at that. If I go to that account, it should show. That is the default chart. So much like MT5, when you load up the default chart, it's a bit disgusting, and you'll want to change that and edit that pretty quick, I would have thought. Let's go back to my setup. There you go. As you can see, far cleaner looking and a lot nicer to use. Placing a trade is super easy again. So you have over here, you have risk reward buy and risk reward sell. Say we wanted to buy from this next zone down here. So we'd simply do risk reward buy place the trade there. We can drag our profits back up to here, and I'll stop below this zone here. So it wants to go 50% into that zone, say. And then as you can see, it's going to give us a 5.44 to 1 risk reward. You set your risk by right clicking on here and select the settings, and then you can simply type in the amount you want to risk. Currently set at $100, so that's okay with me. So that would be your trade setup, and then you just click the buy button there, and that'll set a buy order for you. So you want your entry position there. See, so it's like a nice mix between MT5 and TradingView. Graphically, maybe it's not as nice as TradingView. It doesn't have all the tools and indicators and custom indicators and everything else what TradingView does. But unlike MT5, it's not so clunky. Placing trades is super easy. You can also have a little trade button up here, which is this one here, which is actually really fun to use as well. So let's give it to that. So I don't think I can do it today, but say you wanted to place a buy order, you can literally just drag from here down, set your buy order down here, and that is done. How super easy is that? And then when you come over to the left here, you can then pull your stop loss down and you take profit up. Does mean you have to have already pre-calculated your lot size here. So we're on half a lot. So in this particular trade, we would be risking whatever that says there. Oh, about $50, $60. So actually, it works out about fine. Good, easy way to do that is if you're on Euro Pound, then you can just measure what your stop loss is going to be again, like on MT5. You right click, bring up, you click the middle mouse button, I do apologize. Brings up this, and then you left click, measure the distance, and as you can see, it's 15 pips. So that will tell you. So if we're risking £1 per pip, then it'd be $15 for that stop loss distance there. And then that is it. That trade is actually set up, so I need to cancel that one, which is just as easy. You come over here and you click to cancel that order. As you can see, placing trades on cTrader is super easy, super quick, super easy, super nice actually. So especially if you're in the little scalping lower time frames like 5 minutes, you see a trade set up there and you quickly want to place a buy order, you can literally just drag from there. We're going to buy as that candle breaks. See how easy that is? No messing around. You can drag it and whatever you want really. We're above there at the moment. And then you can pull your stops down to there and your TPs to wherever you wish. So some really cool features as well. Let's place a sell order. Here you go. So we're just going to hover over here, hold left on there, and we're going to sell from the break below. Job done. Going to put our stop loss above there. So I take profits down in this zone, and that trade is set, as you can see from these notifications up here. Let's get rid of that. So that's cTrader. Quickly becoming very popular amongst retail traders, and you can see why. It has advantages of both sides, MT5 and TradingView mixed into one. Maybe one of the lesser known trading platforms is TradeLocker. So that is this one here. I find it okay to use. It's quite fun, something different. I've in this lovely purple scheme, as you can see. Drawing on the chart is just easy. It's basically a TradingView modified chart. As you can see, it's got the same indicators, the same tools as TradingView. You can star the ones you want for your favorites, and they appear up here. It's just a modified version of TradingView, which means it is basically really nice to draw with, and you can mark up your charts really easy. Not much point going over too much because it's basically just a TradingView skin. As you can see, you can zoom in like this, and you have your favorite drawing tools up here. That's about it really. If you open the panel here, you can see your current trades down here. Placing trades, you have this little panel here on screen. Markets are currently closed. When they are open, you'll have an option here to select pending order. or market order. When you select pending order, it'll place a pending line on your chart here. You move that to where you want it to be. Say for example, up here on this position, you drag it to there, drag your stop loss, click stop loss, drag your stop loss to there, and take profit down to there. Then you can adjust your lot size here until you get the desired risk for that particular stop loss, and then place the trade. So really handy, quite nice to use as well. Time frames, you can click here. Again, you can customize these, and I have default ones. Let's have a look. So it's had 5 minute, 15 minute, and 1 hour. As you can see, they now appear, so we can click between the 3 favorite time frames. So yeah, basically TradingView with some integration along here in your trading panel down here. So yeah, that's TradeLocker. That's pretty cool. I like that one. If you're into your futures trading, you may well come across the TopStepX trading platform, which again is just a skin over on the TradingView platform. So marking up charts is as you would expect. In this example here, I have 4 screens open. As you can see, you can select your split screen here. Opening any individual screen is just a matter of holding left Alt on your keyboard and then clicking once with your left mouse button, and that'll maximize each screen. There we go. So on futures now, so on MNQ, which is the NAS 100 to CFD traders, the M being micro contracts, and then placing trades and charting up is as you would expect, because it is basically TradingView again. You can draw lines like this, just like you would. Drawing bars is just as easy on here. It's because it's basically TradingView. So let's go to another chart and we'll mark one up. Let's go to gold. Let's have a look at gold. We're just going to mark it gold. Here's my previous day high and low, which I haven't set, so we'll just leave them out of the way for now. Marking the chart is just as easy as clicking on the bar tool, marking out your bars, your key areas, your point of interests, whatever you wish to call them. And then you can line them all up. You can set your trade indicator here. See how similar it is to TradingView, because it basically is TradingView. Again, you can hold left control on the keyboard when you click on something to duplicate. There you go. So there's 2 trade ideas now. And then top step, placing trades is a little bit different. You have to right click on the chart here, and you can do a sell stop or a limit buy. Of course, you can do market orders as well. And then you tell it how many contracts you wish to place.
Order rejected.
We can't place it at the moment, so through an error because the charts are closed. But basically, that's all you do. And then, getting a bit like TradeLocker down here, you have your trade history and what trades you've taken recently. That's kind of handy as well. Yeah, similar to TradingView as well. So there we go. That's it. Just really brief overview of that one, because it's not particularly reviewing TopStep here. We're just showing how TradingView is integrated into many of their platforms. It just looks a bit different because it has a different skin on it, but it's basically TradingView. And that's it. So just a quick overview of some of the more popular trading platforms recently. MT5 being the main one used by prop firms, quickly followed by cTrader in recent times. A lot of charting is done on TradingView by retail traders, and then other firms use TradingView with a skin over for their own trade setups, for example with TopStepX and TradeLocker, as we saw earlier in the video. Hope this was helpful and gives you an idea of various platforms you may be using in the future. It's always good to have a broad knowledge and a little bit of experience in multiple platforms. Should you move from one to another, at least you've got a bit of experience. Once you know one, you kind of know all of them. Placing the trades is the main part, which changes between them. Charting up doesn't change that much, a little bit clunky on some, a little bit more graphic on others. A mixture of the two for others. And that's it really, so there you go. Choose wisely. Catch you next time. Bye bye.